Well, it wasn't that long ago that the thought of a partnership between professional sports franchises and sports wagering enterprises was unthinkable. But that is certainly no longer the case, as exhibited by the recent announcements by the Indianapolis Colts. Bill Benner has more in this week's Inside Indiana Sports. Bill.
Gary, thanks. With the rapidly increasing legalization and acceptance of sports gambling in America, including in Indiana, pro teams, including the Colts and the Indiana Pacers, are joining with sports books and casinos and commercial partnerships. Last week, the Colts announced agreements with WinBet and Caesars, and includes game day present in Lucas Oil Stadium. And joining us to discuss is Roger VanDerSnick, the Colts Chief Sales and Marketing Officer. Roger, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bill. Always good to talk to you.
Well, just overall, the climate, and again, I'm an old guy, so I can remember when it was back, sports gambling was all backroom, undercover activity. Now it's very much out in the open. But just talk about the overall changing environment and the acceptance of professional sports teams and leagues to delve into this area commercially.
I think a couple things. One is when the federal law and then succeeding state laws were changed to allow legal sports betting, I think one of the things that was important for us was to have really trusted partnerships so that our fans, the fans that wanted to participate in the space, knew who our trusted partners are and they could feel comfortable about that. And so it was important for us to kind of forge into the area early. Indiana was one of the early states that passed this opportunity. And so we spent 12 months or so working with a variety of different prospects and are really pleased with that we have really 3 quality trusted partners that we're going to market with this year moving forward.
Well, and again, we mentioned Caesars, WinBet, FanDuel has also been on board with the Indianapolis Colts. Talk about the individual aspects of each property. Let's start with Caesars, and I know the Colts go back with Caesars away with Indiana Grand and Hoosier Park.
Right. Our legacy with Caesars and those properties is well over 10 years, and it's been fun to see it evolve over time as the entities became bigger and then ultimately the Caesars acquisition of those properties. But their interest both is in online opportunities as well as brick and mortar at their 2 properties, one in Anderson and one in Shelbyville. And so that's kind of, it starts with use of intellectual property and marks and logos, the ability to use our trademarks in sweepstakes, a variety of different promotions, use them at their facilities, as well as then they are the title sponsor to the Caesars Sportsbook Lounge, which is a 21 plus area at Lucas Oil Stadium where fans can participate and see different aspects of content, even betting lines that are going to be displayed there, as well as the opportunity to download the Caesars app. They are also the title sponsor of our South Gate, which is our second most populous gate on the south side of the stadium. And so that's great branding and a presence for them. And then they have a host of other pieces of media and digital and database marketing opportunities, part of their partnership.
And of course, WinBet also has a lounge presence, the WinBet Lounge. Robert Mathis, Colts great, will serve as an ambassador for that particular enterprise. I think they're going to be also sponsor, among other things, your official Colts podcast.
Our podcast as well as our mobile app. Our mobile app is becoming really a must-have for all of our Colts fans to really engage with the entire sports Colts opportunity. And so WinBet has that. As you mentioned, they are the title sponsor of the Wynn Lounge as well as the whole entire West Club. And they also have pregame hospitality opportunities out in Touchdown Town on the north side of the stadium. And so they have a full complement of marketing opportunities as well as in their sponsorship.
Just anecdotally, the Pacers also have agreements with DraftKings and PointsBet. You also have an agreement with FanDuel as another of your partners.
Right. So FanDuel is, again, a partnership that goes back several years. Started out as daily fantasy. At the time, that was the only really kind of betting permitted. And that partnership has continued to evolve and strengthen and grow as they've had the opportunities as well to include legal sports betting as part of their assets. And so they have a number of things, again, use of marks and logos, lots of presence in terms of media, as well as in stadium as well.
Roger, as we wrap up, what do you see, what might come of this over the next 4, 5, 6 years? Anything in particular that you would see evolving from this?
I would. I mean, obviously, there's certainly a revenue opportunity for the teams The second piece, which is really important, I think, again, having those trusted partners so that fans feel comfortable participating in the space and working with those partners. And I think three, the other thing is, I think this will afford the Colts an opportunity from a fan and from a marketing standpoint to engage with perhaps fans that, while maybe sports fans, might not be as strong a Colts fan. So we're very intrigued by that. We saw very similar things happen years ago when fantasy football came out. When people started to participate in fantasy football, they became more football fans. And we think there's a real opportunity for that with our joint marketing efforts with these three partners.
Well, Roger, we certainly appreciate you coming on the program. A fascinating new space, and especially for old guys like me who come from a kind of a different area. Roger, thanks for being on the program. Best of luck, and go Colts.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Always glad to talk to you.
All right. Thank you, Roger. And Gary, back to you.
All right, Bill, I'm looking at the line here. Let's hope that the Colts cover and the Colts win. Carson Wentz plays on Sunday against the Titans. Thanks, Bill.